All right. I could tell that we are definitely under an election year when you see Tim Scott step up and try to have to go at a fellow GOP uh, representative over what is done in Florida. School board created the curriculum that will teach middle schoolers that slavery had benefits. I think that that was a mistake. And when you see Tim Scott, the senator, the Black American senator from South Carolina, you definitely see that he has grew a pair. So it's been some infighting going on with the GOP. The Black American GOP candidates is pushing back on Ron DeSantis. And what Ron DeSantis is saying is, you pushing back against me over my bill that's teaching the truth. And what Tim Scott is saying, this is not a bill.
2024 news tonight. The Republican presidential campaign trail is red hot this week in Iowa. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and South Carolina Senator Tim Scott met with Iowa voters today in separate campaign stops. DeSantis discussed education, the economy, and shared his campaign focus while in Sheraton. Scott took questions from the crowd, sharing his plan to cut taxes, expand school choice, and restore Republicans' trust in the U.S. justice system.
Okay, one moment. One moment. Let me get a little test here. Sometimes when I build a plane, I have to fly it myself. All right. So let's finish this video here.
Any big in our country, and certainly
that was in spite of slavery, not because of. And I think it's very clear that these guys did a good job.
They want to play for me. Now, Tim come on. All right. Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina pushed back Thursday against a Republican rival, Ron DeSantis, over his state's new Black history curriculum, which says middle school students should be taught that enslaved people learned some skills they later use to their benefit. Now, this is not one of those race baiting videos, but it's the truth. And I did a video before debunking all of this stuff that slavery taught blacks anything. 50,000 patents has been created, from your ranch dressing to your peanut butter to the mop to the ice cream scoop, the refrigerated trucks, the elevator, the security cameras around your home. So many things that you got to give credit. Even the light bulb, even though they say Thomas Edison, but his light bulb only burned for 30 minutes. When you think of Alexander Graham Bell, he recruited Lewis Latimer to help create the telephone. So put some respect on the name, on put some respect on it, on the Black Americans. We not a people that you got to invite to the party. We revolutionized America. and people don't have to respect it, but do your own history before you start hating us and telling us to go back to Africa. But if we pull out 50,000 patents from this country, you'll be begging for some of us to come back. Now, I don't mean the people that's doing crimes and destroying America from the inside. I'm talking about the people who put America on the map. America is one of the newest countries in existence, but it's one of the most powerful countries, and that's because of Black Americans. And I hate when they try to, try to separate us from this country, no matter what we have contributed. So if you try to tell us that our life started slavery, that's just a doggone lie. And a name like Desantis, that's not even a native name to this land. If you want to be honest, right? That sounds like an Italian name. And think about it. Black America's been in this country before the Irish, before the Italians, before, a lot of people that's accepted now, we was here. But people pound their chests and try to say, go back to your country. Well, the sad truth is Black Americans don't have a country to go back to. So don't try to tell us that our world started with slavery. No, we have been here a long time and we're going to continue to be here. It's just the truth. Now, Florida's Board of Education approved new standards earlier this month that required instruction for middle school students to include how slaves develop new skills. In some instances, could be applied for their personal benefit. While civil rights and education advocates have slammed the rules as a disservice to students, Desantis, one of the Scott's GOP presidential rivals, have defended the bill that's going to crash. It's going to not only crash his presidency, but he won't get reelected in that state when it comes down to being reelected for governor. Now, I think this is second term. I don't know if he's term limited, but he's not going to advance because even the Black GOP is now going against some of his standards. And then what he did for immigration did a disservice to the state as well. So people are definitely against DeSantis, and he would never win. Not only is the Satan light more dimmer than Trump, he would not win. He won't win. There's no silver lining in slavery, Scott said in a response to a reporter's question in Iowa on Thursday, according to a video of the exchange posted online. The truth is that anything you can learn, any benefits that people suggest you had during slavery, you have had as a free person. As Scott, the only Black Republican senator currently serving in Congress, what slavery was really about was separating families and mutilating humans and even raping their wives. It's just devastating. Right. And that's the part of the story that really need to be taught. I would hope that every person in our country, and certainly running for president, would appreciate that. He added, people have bad days. Sometimes they regret what they say. And will we ask them again to clarify the positions? He's talking about the Satan. Governor Satan is really doing a disservice. And it's not just against Black Americans, because a lot of people do not like his stance on immigration. Scott trails DeSantis in the Republican presidential primary field, though both are well behind former President Donald Trump. On Friday, DeSantis responded to Scott, accusing the congressman of accepting a lie perpetrated by the left. Now, part of the reason our country has struggled is because DC, which, let's be honest, DeSantis came from Congress. He just didn't propped up becoming a governor. It was the Aurora of Trump who helped catapulted him into stardom. He was a nobody in Congress. He tried to make a name for himself, but the highest he gonna get is a Republican. I don't even see getting to be vice president. I just don't see it. DC Republicans all too often accept false narratives, accept lies that are perpetrated by the left, and to accept the lie that Vice President Kamala Harris has been perpetrating, even when that was debunked. That's not the way you do it, DeSantis told reporters. It ain't been debunked. It's the truth. The Satan. You want to come in and teach false narratives. But why Black Americans are the only ones got to be taught certain things? You cannot teach that against no other group of people the way you try to teach this to us. DeSantis has been defending the curriculum guidance this week, describing the state standards Thursday as being very clear about the injustice of slavery in vivid detail. His allies has also pointed to similar language that appeared in the course framework for a new advanced placement of African American Studies course plotted by the College Board, which was rejected comparisons between the two curricula. The Florida governor has been sensitive to criticism over the state standards for suggesting changes. Now, what people don't know, the GOP representative Brian Donalds is a Black American. And he's another person that's pushing back. He's a Black GOP, but anybody that's trying to get in the ear of DeSantis, he's too bullheaded to listen. You want to stand beside the firing range when you don't have to be the bullseye. Don't teach Black Americans that their life started with slavery and they had a benefit from slavery. But when you can't go to no other people and say they had a benefit for atrocities and oppressions that they went through, you won't teach that, but you teach it to us. And I don't think it's fair, and I don't think you should do that. All right. Donald's only the Black Republican Florida's congressional delegation tweeted Wednesday that the new standards are good, robust, and accurate, but added the controversial requirement to teach about perceived benefit needs to be adjusted. In response, DeSantis accused Donalds of aligning himself with Harris, who gave a fiery speech in response to the new standards last week. He also called on the congressman to stand up for your state. Hell nah, stand up for your dignity first. All right, now, DeSantis hits back at the DC Republican Tim Scott over Florida slavery curriculum. Speak the truth. Black scholars helped construct a new curriculum that has been staunch opposition from VOP, Harris, and other liberals. And whoever Black scholars stepped up, they weren't speaking for me, nor do I live in the great state of Florida. And that's a benefit for me because I don't want to be a part of nothing like that. And if you want to speak the truth, no, it wasn't created by solely Black Republicans. I mean, Black scholars. This is just a try. It just, every time you try to get to the top of the hill, you get kicked back down, and it's just crazy to me. It's crazy that this type of stuff happens. It's crazy that they are allowing this to go forward and nobody's really challenging any of this stuff. So I don't want to create a video with rebadged stuff that's already been from CNN. So we're going to go ahead and stop that there. But we got to get in a position where your voice is heard. No other group of people will allow atrocities like that to stand firm. You just wouldn't. So this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And once again, we will see you in the next video.